Master, I had a question regarding the knower. I'm existence, consciousness, bliss. But when I come to realms of time and space, like time and space, I have to be like currently when I see a form, like when I meditate, I see a form. And there is seeing of a form, and I have a relationship with that form. Whatever that relationship would be. For example, my friend, my wife, I see that there is a seer and there is a seen. So it means, but the seer is not real. If I inquire into the seer, it depends on the circumstances. The seer and seen come and go. Right? But in realms of time and space, the seer is required, right? Otherwise, how would I see? So if I come to the realm of time and space, like time and space, I require 2 points. To see the 2 points, I have to be a knower, right? Like, to see 2 points, I have to be a knower. This is 1 point, this is second point, and I connect point A to point B. But that knower is not a separate knower. That's what my understanding is. Like, but I go further down and say that I'm the perceiver and I am the doer. Like, then there's a problem. But but what I in my investigation I'm trying to do is I have to, when I come down to time and space to connect 2 points, I have to be a knower, right? But then further, like in the investigation, how should I?
If we are bodies, then we are in time and space and appear as an individualized knower or experiencer within that very time and space. Such is the hallucination. But are we bodies? Free from the body, where is time? Where is space? Where is relations, actions, perceiver, the doer, etc.? All these rest on a false supposition regarding the nature of the seer. Again, the seer and the seen are but false images. They are not the substrate or the reality. They are like an analogy given by Sri Bhagavan. There is a king in a movie. Before that king is enacted a play in the same movie. Neither the king, the seer, nor the play, the scene, are real. The only thing real, referred to as the substrate, is the solid screen. The rest has actually no existence. Just so is it with the experiencer and the object of experience, the individualized knower and all that is objectively known. It is like the movie image of the king in the play. What is real? If you cease to misidentify with the body and as an embodied individual, which is but a false assumption, the reality will reveal itself to itself. It is spaceless. It is timeless. It is as it is always.
I have an experience in the dream where there is no body, but there is still an I, but not the universal I, like the.
You have a dream body.
Dream body, right.
And then you see a dream world with dream time and dream space. But without that dream body, without imagining yourself as the dream character, what happens to that dream world, the dream time, the dream space?
But Master, like in order for every perception is a creation, right? Every perception is a creation.
We imagine it to be so.
And creation is always in time and space.
Time and space are also part of the creation. Is there a creator?
Nothing.
Either say that the Supreme Lord of all creates everything, and you stay out of it. Let the Supreme Lord take care of it. You have nothing to do with it. Or realize that all of creation is within the Creator, and is differentiated as such according to individuality. Rising above individuality by inquiry, who am I? There is no creation, much less time and space.
Nothing is outside the knowledge of it. And knowing is consciousness. That's what my understanding is.
All right, and consciousness has no form. How will form arise in the formless? How will a change occur in that which is without modification? It doesn't. As soon as you want to know, how do I deal with time and space? Look at the definition being ascribed to I. It's not the timeless, spaceless self. Some other identity is being taken up, as it were. Then the differences and doubts begin.
In the way I do investigation now, as per the instruction is, I'm the perceiver, so I'm not in time and space. But I slip down again and again.
What is the nature of the one who slips down?
He himself is sometimes there, not there. Depends on the circumstances, waking, dreaming, sleeping.
All right.
Comes and goes.
He comes and goes. But your existence does not come and go. So what can he have to do with you? How can that be your identity?
Existence is either experience or it shines. Like I was reading in a book or somewhere. So when I try to investigate and meditate on that, it's either experience or it shines. So my interpretation was like, in deep sleep, existence is by itself, so it's pure existence. But for shining, my light is required, which is consciousness. So knowing of it is being of it. So they are like one, as you mentioned before. But how does it shine? And like for shining, it requires my light, right? Like my light is same as existence. So I go outside in the world. I mean, it's like not the eyeless eye, but to experience the world.
How many eyes are there? There is existence, which is consciousness. Two terms for one and the same reality. To say that it is, to say that it shines, means the same thing. But if you assume another identity, an embodied individuality, then you appear to come to the world. Then you appear to be a perceiver. And there'll be endless doubts about what is perceived. Turn inward on that very point of what you take to be your identity. Right there is the root of clarity.
Also, I'll investigate on that for sure. Like I've been investigating on that. But pure existence, pure, like the word pure existence, it exists by its own self. It doesn't require anybody to. Like deep sleep is an example. It is like I know I existed in deep sleep. But what about the knowledge? If there is no knowledge, when I wake up, then only I can put that knowledge there. Because knowing of a thing is being of a thing, right? Like at the mind level, that's what the mind can go.
Does the knowledge come and go?
Knowledge is steady, like
True knowledge is steady, indeed. And true knowledge is identical with your being. For as we were mentioned earlier, true knowledge is of the nature of consciousness. And consciousness does not come or go at any time. It is not like the content of the waking state. That's not knowledge, that's ignorance. Likewise, it is not the content of the dream state. That is obviously not knowledge. It is just delusion. It's not even the content characterized by an absence or blank of deep dreamless sleep. Your existence of the nature of pure consciousness transcends all that.
so now existence and consciousness. Now talking about ananda, the bliss, it means it has to be objectless because
Yes.
existence and knowledge in deep sleep are objectless. There is no object. So in the waking state, if I want to be happy, I have to be unattached with mind, body, and senses.
Just as you were in deep sleep, you need to be in a waking deep sleep.
There are no objects in deep sleep.
There are no objects now.
That I have to comprehend, investigate.
Even now, being is objectless. Even now, consciousness is undifferentiated. Likewise, bliss is abiding in its perfect fullness. If it seems in your experience as if otherwise or modified in some way, inquire into the definition of the one who perceives the difference. All differentiation rests in him. Inquiring into him, the idea of embodiment is abandoned, and individuality proves to be entirely a false assumption. Satchidananda is the only reality. Investigate like this.
There one more question regarding the perception. Like when I see a thing, there's a perception, and there's immediately a small gap where there's a concept like of it, and then the subtle mind, like subtle thoughts come, like comparison. And now the instruction which I was reading is like, do not identify with concepts. But just follow the perception. The perception is more real than in the waking state than.
Is it? Compared to the dream state. In the dream you have perception and conception. Outwardly perceiving the thing sensed, inwardly conceiving of it, perhaps a moment afterwards. Or so it appears. But what is it really? The outside and the inside, the perceived and the conceived. Isn't it all just your thought in different forms? That Shakti which is called the mind. The waking state is no different. In the dream, you do not feel that you are dreaming. You feel that you are awake. While dreaming, someone tells you, never mind your ideas, just stay focused on the percepts. When you wake up, what do you think of all that? Reality is neither perceptible nor conceivable. Again, to feel that you perceive something. Isn't this said from the position of the body with the senses? Without a body, beyond the senses, what perceptions are there? There's a limitable existence, infinite consciousness. But that dream is no more.
If I question the perceiver, like as you mentioned in previous instruction, which I do, then my assumption is like, if I am the questioner, then the perceiver is my thoughts, right? Like if I am questioning, I cannot do simultaneously, right?
Do thoughts have any real knowing power of their own? Isn't it that they're all lit up by something that's not a thought? We should not mistake that something for a thought. That which knows all thought is known by none of them. That something is of the nature of consciousness. And every definition, every limitation, such as being a perceiver and such, imagined for the consciousness, is just the thought of such. We should not mix up the consciousness with such thought. Without thinking of it as like this or like that, what is the nature of your consciousness?
It is aware and it is present, that's for sure.
It is aware, yes, it knows, but there's nothing else for it to know. It alone is. It is present in as much as it is ever existent. It is eternal. What perception could be eternal? What is not eternal is not worth seeking, said the Maharishi. Knowing this, who would chase after dream perceptions?